You walk into a store for one thing, maybe a pair of socks. 10 minutes later, you're holding a $70 jacket you never planned to buy. You tell yourself, it was on sale. I'll actually use it. I deserve it. Then you get home, look at the bag, and for a few minutes, you feel good. But here's the strange part. You didn't just buy the product. You bought the feeling you expected the product to give you. And that's where the real problem begins. Because if you've ever bought something you didn't need, regretted it later, and then done it again, the problem probably isn't that you're bad with money. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. And companies have become extremely good at exploiting it. Think about the last time you bought something completely unnecessary. Maybe it was a new phone, a pair of sneakers, clothes, a subscription, or something you ordered online late at night because suddenly it felt impossible to live without it. Here's what you probably remember. The purchase. But psychologically, the purchase started much earlier. It started when you saw the product. Then came the thought, that looks good. Then, maybe I should get it. Then, it's only $40. And finally, why not? That sequence feels spontaneous, but it usually isn't. Modern shopping environments are designed to turn attention into desire and desire into action. And the most dangerous part is that you don't need to consciously believe you need something. You only need to believe that owning it will make you feel better. There's a reason online shopping can feel strangely exciting. You see the product, imagine owning it, picture yourself wearing it or using it, and maybe even imagine showing it to someone. Suddenly, the product isn't just a product anymore. It's connected to a better version of yourself. The shoes aren't just shoes. They're the version of you who finally looks stylish. The expensive watch isn't just a watch, it's the version of you who feels successful. The new laptop isn't just a laptop, it's the version of you who is finally going to become productive. And that's the trap. You're not always buying the object, you're buying the story attached to it. Then comes the discount. Imagine you see a $100 product marked down to $60. Your brain doesn't simply see $60, it sees $100 down to $60. Suddenly, $60 feels like an opportunity. But you didn't save $40, you spent $60. And that's why words like sale, limited time, only two left, and today only can be so powerful. They don't just tell you what something costs, they create urgency. And urgency changes the question in your head. Instead of asking, do I need this? You start asking, can I afford to miss this? Those are completely different questions, and the second one is much easier to manipulate. There's another phrase that quietly destroys budgets. It's only. It's only $10. It's only $20. It's only $35. Individually, these purchases don't look dangerous. That's exactly why they're dangerous. Imagine spending $15 on something you don't need, then $25, then $18, then $30, then another $12. Nothing feels catastrophic, but small purchases can accumulate into hundreds of dollars. And because each purchase feels insignificant, you don't experience the psychological resistance you'd feel buying one $300 item. This is one reason your bank balance can surprise you at the end of the month. You weren't necessarily making one terrible financial decision. You were making dozens of tiny decisions that felt harmless. And then something even more interesting happens. You buy the thing. For a moment, you feel better. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe you had a terrible day. Maybe you're comparing yourself to people online. And shopping gives you something immediate, a sense of reward. The problem is that the feeling doesn't last. The excitement fades. The product becomes normal. And eventually, you want another little hit of excitement. So you shop again. And this can create a cycle. Trigger, desire, purchase, temporary reward, regret, and then another trigger. Notice something important. The product isn't necessarily the solution. Your emotional state may be the trigger. That's why telling someone just stop buying unnecessary things is often useless advice. If shopping is helping them deal with boredom, stress, insecurity, or loneliness, simply removing shopping doesn't address the underlying trigger. Now add social media. You open Instagram or TikTok. Someone has a new outfit. Someone upgraded their apartment. Someone has the newest phone. Someone is traveling. Someone is showing you what they bought this week. You don't just see products, you see lifestyles. And that's a massive distinction. You're no longer comparing your $500 purchase to another $500 purchase. You're comparing your everyday life to someone's carefully selected highlights. Then the brain starts asking, why don't I have that? And suddenly, consumption becomes part of your identity. You don't want the jacket, you want to feel stylish. You don't want the car, you want to feel successful. You don't want the expensive vacation, you want to feel like your life is moving forward. And companies don't necessarily have to sell you a product if they can sell you an identity. But here's the part nobody talks about. Buying things isn't inherently bad. The goal isn't to become someone who never spends money. That's not financial discipline. That's just another extreme. The real goal is to stop making purchases automatically. Because there's a massive difference between I want this and I want this because I believe it will change how I feel. Those are not the same thing. So the next time you want to buy something you didn't plan for, don't immediately tell yourself no. Instead, ask yourself 3 questions. First, would I still want this if nobody could see it? If the answer is no, you may be buying status rather than the product itself. Second, what problem do I believe this purchase will solve? Is it boredom, stress, insecurity, convenience, or an actual practical need? And third, if I wait 7 days, will I still want it? Because urgency is often the enemy of rational spending. If you still want it after the emotional intensity disappears, you can make the decision with a clearer head. Here's another simple system you can use. For anything you didn't plan to buy, wait 24 hours. For expensive purchases, make the waiting period longer. During that time, don't keep browsing the product. Don't watch more reviews. Don't look at similar products. Don't keep feeding the desire. Just let the emotion cool down. Because if you genuinely need something, waiting usually won't destroy the need. But if the purchase was mostly driven by impulse, waiting can destroy the desire. And that's exactly what you want. You also don't necessarily need more willpower. A better strategy is to create more distance between the trigger and the purchase. Delete saved credit cards. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Remove shopping apps from your home screen. Don't browse when you're bored. Stop following accounts that constantly make you feel like you need something new. Make impulse purchases slightly harder. Because when the process becomes less automatic, you give your rational brain more time to catch up. And here's the real cost of buying things you don't need. It's not just the money. It's what that money could have become. $50 spent impulsively isn't just $50 gone. It's $50 that could have gone toward debt, savings, investments, an emergency fund, a future goal, or simply more financial freedom. And that's the part most advertisements will never show you. They show you the excitement of buying. They don't show you your bank account afterward. They show you the package arriving. They don't show you the trade-off. They show you the lifestyle. They don't show you the opportunity cost. So the next time you find yourself thinking, I really want this, stop for a second and ask yourself one question. Do I actually want this thing, or do I want the feeling I think this thing will give me? Because once you understand that difference, shopping becomes much easier to see for what it really is. Sometimes you genuinely want the product. Buy it. Enjoy it. No guilt. But sometimes you're stressed, you're bored, you're insecure, or you're comparing yourself to someone online and you're about to spend money trying to fix an emotion. That's when you should walk away. Because you can't permanently purchase your way out of a feeling. And the next time the urge hits, remember this. You don't have to stop wanting things. You just have to stop letting every want become a purchase. Because financial freedom isn't only about earning more money. Sometimes it's about becoming harder to sell to.